he created. He was a self-starter and fast learner. After building his own cloud database, he decided to skip college. I wouldn't recommend my path to everyone, said Figgers, but it worked for me. When I was 17, I had 150 clients that needed websites and storage for their files. I just kept building from there. His big break came several years later. In 2012, he said, when at the age of 23, he sold a GPS tracker program to an undisclosed company in Kansas for $2.2 million. Figgers' father had developed Alzheimer's disease and would frequently wander off when he was confused. I created a device that I could insert in his shoe that would allow me to track him, plus talk to him through his shoe, said Figgers. Nathan Figgers died in 2014, shortly after Freddie started Figgers Communications and developed 80 custom software programs with the money he earned from his smart shoe technology. Freddie said it was difficult to watch him decline. It's something you never forget. I've always been so grateful to him and my mom. They taught me not to let my circumstances define who I was. Some would say that was an understatement. Figgers, who now lives in Parkland, Florida, is the founder of Figgers Wireless, a privately held telecommunications company that he said was appraised in 2017 to be worth more than $62 million. He also runs Figgers Foundation, which donates a variety of causes, including relief efforts after natural disasters, college scholarships for high school students, and assistance with school supplies for cash-strapped teachers. He said the best thing any human can do is influence another one, said Figgers, who credits his adoptive parents for believing in him and allowing to channel his energy into creative computer products at a young age. Although Figgers does sizable business selling his smartphones and data plans, he said he is still passionate about combining technology with healthcare and safety. He sells a wireless blood glucose meter for people with diabetes that allows patients to download and share glucose levels through Bluetooth technology. And he is working on a project similar to his smart shoe technology to help families stay in touch with loved ones experiencing homelessness. This could be me on the streets. I could have been homeless or dead if I hadn't been found by the dumpster after I was born, he said. After Figgers grew up, he learned that his birth mother was a prostitute and had a drug addiction. He said he has not met her and has no desire to. He said, my parents adopted me and gave me love and a future. They did their best to make the world a better place, and now that's all I want to do. That was featured in the Washington Post, December 4th, 2019. And I heard that story, and I did not know this young man. So in 2019, I started my role, and I would travel around the state, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine who was the chair of the Minnesota Black Chamber of Commerce, Michelle Grimsley, who's actually back here today. And we were talking, we were out at a restaurant called Pier 22, me and her and some friends. And I, for some reason, the story came up about this young man. I said, I heard about him, I would like to meet him. He happened to be in town this random day in Bradenton, Florida, and a fellow named Patrick Carnegie, who's the CEO of MCR Health, Manatee County Rural Health. He said, I know him. So you wanted to come by? I said, of course, because my mother was very, very big on pro-life causes and also adoption causes. So every time I would hear this type of narrative or story, it always intrigued me because of the passion that my mother had for these type of things many years ago. So when I heard that narrative, I said, well, this is the type of story in Florida that we not only want to highlight, but also shows the success of somebody who is homegrown from rural Florida, who decided to keep his company here and is very motivational. So I have Freddie here today. I wanted for him to speak very briefly for a second at this mic at the table. But this is a reason why Florida business Florida is the place to go. You have a governor who's very pro-business, but also doing things that are innovative. And his story is so touching that it excites me just to have him here today. Freddie?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Secretary Sawell, for that introduction. I am Freddie Figgers. I'm an American inventor, president and CEO of Figgers Communication. Figgers Communication is an American telecommunications company that provides cell phone service, mobile broadband service, and we manufacture cell phones. We own and create our own intellectual property here in Florida. We manufacture our devices here in Florida. And I love Florida. I'm homegrown, and it's been a lot of states that's tried to get us to move, but we're not going anywhere. I am also the chairman of the Figgers Foundation. That is a nonprofit that supports students all across the state. They have given out more than 1,500 scholarships since 2015. Also, during the pandemic, we donated over 2.6 million pieces of personal protective equipment throughout the state to healthcare facilities. And we're supporting right now with the digital divide to bring in broadband to rural areas to people that can't afford it. So thank you so much.